is, and all the details are waiting for you here on Monday. So, listen, 3 years ago, Anthony Purcell went swimming at the beach, and like every other person, dove into the water. But on this particular event, dove into the water and struck a hidden sandbar and broke his neck. Well, from this tragedy, Anthony's mother, Micki, created a foundation called Walking with Anthony, and that primary mission of that foundation is to help people afford the cost of spinal cord injury rehabilitation and to gain a better quality of life. We have asked them to come and join us here today and talk with us a little bit about this.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome very much, or thank you very much for coming here and joining us. Let me start with Micki. Why did you say we need to create a foundation? You had enough on your plate at that point.
Well, that's true. I'm involved in a lot of different businesses, but I was thrown into this spinal cord community in a split second. I got a phone call that my son had broken his neck and didn't realize the severity of it. And after being at Jackson Memorial Hospital in ICU for 6 weeks, we were in rehab, and 20 days later, we were tapped on the shoulder saying, "Today's your last day." And I said, "Today's my last day?" He can't even move. He can't lift his arms. This is impossible. No, the medical doesn't cover spinal cord injury. Now, if you break your back, they cover it. So I wrote out a check to the hospital for $40,000 because my son was no way leaving at that point. Luckily, we found a great facility in Carlsbad, California called Project Walk, that they have a non-traditional philosophy, that they have an intensive exercise therapy program where they work on the parts of the body that aren't functioning. So we went there, and Anthony has progressed amazingly. He took his first steps 3 weeks ago. He's healthier, he's stronger, he's back to work, he has a girlfriend, he drives, he has his life back. And after attending Project Walk, families were crying, mortgaging their homes, getting divorced, coming up and begging me, saying, "Wow, Anthony's progressing. I don't have the money for my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife." So I just said one day, I got to help these people. So we started the Walking with Anthony Foundation. It costs about $100,000 a year just to help one person. Very expensive recovery. And we've now helped about 9 people. We have hundreds of emails a day begging us for help. Again, parents, husbands, wives, and they're thrown to the curb after 20 days. They don't even know where to get their resources. They don't know where to go, who to turn to. And most of these poor kids or young people are thrown into nursing homes. And my son is a perfect example. I mean, he has a C5-6 injury.
What does that mean?
That means that it's an injury where most people wouldn't think he would progress.
Anthony, how difficult was it to you to readjust after the accident?
It's very difficult. It's an accident that basically alters your everyday life. I mean, able bodies take it for granted to like brush their teeth or, you know, bathe themselves or even just like be free and get in their car and go anywhere they would like. I mean, with this accident, you have to basically, you're not the same individual you were before you got hurt. You're a totally different individual. And it's basically up to you if you want to, you know, change for the worse or if you want to, you know, have a positive attitude and change for the better.
How long did that take you to realize which direction you wanted to go in?
It took a while. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It took me about 1.5 years to really kind of, you know, just know which direction I'm going to go with this thing because the first year was the most difficult. Not only physically, a lot of people think it's like physical, you know, I want to walk right away. But mentally is definitely the hardest part. So that's a big deal for me.
What were you feeling?
Depressed, very, very depressed and hopeless.
And hopeless.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that as a mom, watching your son have to go through this and his hopelessness and feeling so depressed?
Well, every day was a challenge, but like I tell everybody, I've never been depressed one day since this accident happened because my philosophy was he's not laying there dying of cancer. We found, thank God, a great facility, and I saw him progressing. Every week, I saw him more and more progressing. I mean, I was his cheerleader every day. I cheered him to rehab. I saw the progression. And then when I started the foundation, Anthony was like, "Mom, why are you doing this?" And I said, "Anthony, one day you're going to thank me." And today, he is so involved as executive director, and he mentors these young people. He goes and works out with them. He gets them on the phone. And, you know, and people say to me, it costs so much to help one person. Yeah, it does. But you can't put a price on helping one person get their life back.
Well, Anthony, how about some of the people you sponsored? Tell us.
We sponsored, I don't know if you guys heard of the bride who got pushed into the pool. Rachel Friedman's her name. And what happened was she was at her bachelorette party and playfully,
yes.
you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah, playfully she got pushed in the pool by one of her bridesmaids, broke her neck. And, we had to reach out to her because that was just something, I mean, that must have been horrible.
Sure.
We have Donovan Hill, who was a football player, a young athlete, got hit the wrong way and was paralyzed, and we're helping him, and he's young. So, I enjoy mentoring him because...
Are you seeing the same progression with them as in the success that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time.
Sure.
It's not overnight. You can't say in 6 months, wow, this guy, wow, he's... you could tell, mentally, if you have the ambition and then your positive attitude, then, to me, that's progression.
Right. Well, we want to talk more about that progression, what it took, how far you've come, how much of it's mental, how much of it's a miracle, in a sense, and how much we just have to start reframing our way of thinking when we come back. So don't go away. Much more with Anthony and his trainer and how he's gotten this far.
With 40 delicious Progresso